on, we'll begin to touch some areas. I believe it's an overview of the orchestrator we're going to be talking about. So, like I said, Lady Testimony is here, and two of us will be working hand in hand to see how we can reach you. So, but feel free at any point in time to ask questions, and let's see where we can come in and see how we can provide help around that. I think I am lost. Hello?
No, I can still hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, I'm just seeing only in on my screen. I was thinking I was lost.
Okay. That's Vivian.
Okay.
It's Vivian. It's like
all right,
Vivian is about sharing their screen or what?
Okay, I think so.
Yeah,
Vivian, you're welcome. Okay, I'll just share my screen and we'll start talking around that. Now, I guess my screen is visible and everybody can see it. We all have the document. Lesson 8 is what we're talking about. And we're going to be talking about the orchestrator. But before we talk about orchestrator and start working on the orchestrator, I believe every one of us has installed the studio on our machine.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I've done that.
Now, okay, good. To all of us that have done that, one way or the other, we already have orchestrator in our system, along with our account, but we might not know about that. But that is what comprises of the full automation in UiPath. UiPath automation consists of these three arms. One is the studio where you use in making your design. 2 is the robot which executes your codes. And 3, it is the orchestrator. Please take note of some of these keywords. They might likely just come out in your exam and they will just be a giveaway. So these 3 parts are what really makes the automation process. Like I said, the studio is usually used for the developer to write their codes, their designs, their workflows, and the processes. The robot is used to execute the codes. And to manage the robot and the codes, the orchestrator comes in. Now, the orchestrator is just a web-based application, but also have an extension in your machine called the assistant. So when you just go to your start menu, I guess we can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you go to your start and you just type your assistant.
What do you expect that we see on your screen?
Okay, no, I believe as I'm talking around, I'm going to be talking around what I'm displaying. I'm showing the UiPath assistant that, like I said, that you have both. The orchestrator is a web-based, but you have a connection to that web orchestrator through the UiPath assistant. So I was about showing them the UiPath assistant. So I just wanted them to be very sure they are seeing my screen and how the assistant look like.
Yes, the reason why I asked is because of like sometimes one may think some things are showing, but from the other hand, they are not showing. So that's why. So you may need to kindly find out from the other viewers, from us, if you ask what you expect to.
I think
we expect us to see. Yeah.
Okay.
It's blank now.
It's blank.
Yes.
I believe
Yes,
it should be seen
dark screen menu is refreshing.
No, black.
No,
it's
not yet. That's from the start menu.
Okay, it's still on the start menu right now.
Yes, but it's still not showing fully. It's just black.
Okay, Okay, on your machine, click on the start and type assistant. Just type AS and you should see something called UiPath assistant.
We have done that.
You have seen something like that. So when you click on the UiPath assistant, to some, the assistant may not be connected to their orchestrator. But we have not connected. Don't bother about that. But I just want you to know that yes, instead of going to the web, you can also use the assistant to do at least some reasonable functions that the web will do, especially the execution of the robots. So things like this is what we are going to be seeing, and we'll see how we'll walk around the orchestrator. So I think back to the slide. My slide is visible right on the screen now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
please, sir. It seems you need to share your desktop for us to see what actually they are doing on the computer.
Okay, I think that's what I did, but let me go back again, stop the
Okay.
sharing and reshare.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I believe what we're seeing on my screen should be the lesson, the document,
Yeah.
the PDF.
Yeah, the
Okay.
8th lesson.
All right, good. Thank you. So we'll just look at the agenda of the lesson today. We're going to be looking at the overview of the orchestrator. At least I've said some little about the orchestrator. We're also going to be seeing how we publish projects in the orchestrator and some other orchestrator functionalities. We'll look at some of these things and describe the orchestrator. I think, okay. By the end of the lesson, we'll be able to describe the orchestrator, publishing projects. By now, I believe every one of us know what a project is and how to design a project.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I won't be going deep in designing a project. We'll just take any project up, and maybe it might just be a lighter one, and see how we publish it. So for those of us that have not installed the studio or that have not been able to connect the studio, this will be an opportunity for us to, I think many of us who have installed the studio automatically has also installed the orchestrator. So for the purpose of this class, all of us will not be connected to the same orchestrator because each of us are using either the community version or the academy version. And all of these one can only be connected to the account you use in downloading the studio. So it means that if I'm publishing to my orchestrator, your publish should be going to your orchestrator as well. The next person's own will be going to his own orchestrator. And in the orchestrator, because of the limited version we have running on with us individually, will be only seeing my own. But when you do yours, you'll see things when you log into your orchestrator to find out that. Now, we say orchestrator is used to manage the creation, monitoring, and deployment of resources in an environment. We also look at what the environment is. It is a web application that enables the management of robots. Now, if I may ask, what is a robot? Hello? I believe this class is going to be interactive. Like me, I don't teach actually. I only talk. So while talking, we can set up the application and run the application along with that.
Or maybe
No.
the question is too simple.
It's too simple.
Okay.
Okay, let me believe the question is too simple. So,
Yes, sir.
sir,
Because
you said what?
because I know that everyone here can answer that question.
Okay. So, I think that's a giveaway question. So, I'll just go on and we'll continue with that. So, that's a robot. We all know what a robot is. Now, the UiPath Studio, the orchestrator is not used to design a code. Rather, it's used to manage that code that you publish from your studio into the orchestrator. And the set of robots that are going to be executing that code, the UiPath orchestrator can manage them. It then means that if you have 2 or more robots and you want them to run on the same process or the same project, without the orchestrator, you can't run all of them. It means that all of them will be running separately on their own. So with the invert of the orchestrator, you can then use all of them to run from a single source. You can execute them, you can put their queues and all that. So this then brings us to some of the functionality we'll find in the orchestrator. How do we get to the orchestrator? Since we said it's a web page based application, and I just showed you that you can also get there from the UiPath assistant to also see some certain things. I won't be talking much about the UiPath assistant until we look at the orchestrator. So from the orchestrator, how do you get there? You can just open your browser. If you open your browser, hello?
Hello,
can hear you,
Julius.
sir.
Okay. Any question?
No, just that at the moment your screen is black.
My screen is black. Okay. I think my sharing is still what is causing the problem.
It's okay now. Maybe you are trying to bring up the
No, I wanted
assistant.
to bring the studio in front of it. I want to be very sure you are seeing my studio. Or
No,
it's
sir.
just showing black.
Still black.
Oh, okay. I think, let me see. Let's stop
Hello, I think you
sharing.
are sharing only the PDF file. The red border around it shows you are only sharing that particular screen.
Can you see my studio?
Yes, you
Yes,
can
sir.
see it now.
Okay, all right. And you can still see the PDF.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So it's working fine.
Okay, good. All right. So, like I said, we'll be looking at other resources. So first, I want to bring out the studio. The orchestrator. So I'll open a browser. So when I open a browser, if I want to get to orchestrator, it's just easy. Just type platform.uipath, or you can just type cloud.uipath. Either way, platform.uipath.com or cloud.uipath.com. Either way could take you to the web application or the web orchestrator. Like I said, we'll look at more around this web orchestrator and see what we'll do. I've told you that you don't actually do the coding here, but you can do the coding on the studio and you publish all your information to this environment. Now, I believe we can see our screen. You can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the screen usually change You might see it like this in the next 6 months. More advancement would have come and the screen might look differently. But one thing that concerns you is just knowing that this is the cloud base. On the cloud base, we could see the home, we could see the orchestrator, we could see the studio, we could see the action, we could see the app, process, test management, and all that. All of these may not be your concern now, but in the real world, they are all of your concern. They are great tools you can use on the cloud. Here is the orchestrator, and this is the home. You could download from here. For those that have not gotten their studio downloaded, you could just come in here, type and the cloud.uipath or platform.uipath. Sign up. I think I need to sign out. I'll sign out and sign in normally so that you see what you should have seen. For those that have not been there, it's just that I've signed in. That is why it took me straight to my orchestrator. So from time to time, I'll be giving room for questions while myself and Lady Testimony were here to see whether we can do justice to that. So when I enter UiPath.platform, it's going to ask me to log in or sign up. So that is what some of us would have been seeing by now, either the login or the sign up. But I have actually logged in or I've actually created accounts with it, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign up using this to come in. So I'll just say continue with my Microsoft account because I've signed in. But for you that have not signed in, you just enter your Microsoft account or the account you use when you were setting up your studio. If you use a different account, you have to tie your robot to that account for it to be able to see the orchestrator. Okay, so I'm going in with the accounts. So usually it's going to ask you for your username and password and go in. I have actually saved mine, so it just took me straight to this. I think on this ground, I'll have to stop. Somebody will have to share his or her screen, and just let me see if we're actually following what we actually did, so that I can progress further.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would suggest John Aware do that. Well, if John Aware cannot, I feel maybe he has stable electricity, and that's why I mean, it's always in the noise control environment. That's the reason for that nomination. Anyway, Joe Shugo or Tetsero Victor. So any of these three, I suppose. Yeah. Victor, you want to say something?
Okay, so I wanted to share my screen.
Okay, and I think your audio is also good. Yeah, that's good.
So I'll stop sharing my screen so that you can share your screen.
Okay, can I do that now?
Yes, you can. Wow, this person is already there. So I was thinking you were going to carry us from the beginning, and so this is good. This is good. We're already on here. So, like in every orchestrator, there's what
Hello,
we
sir.
call
Hello, sir. Please,
Yeah.
I'm having difficulty in creating a signing up. I don't know. It's just it's asking for the name of the organization.
Yeah, you can put any name as the organization. So I would have preferred you put Grandida now that since you are already showing interest with Grandida, but any name could suffice.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody also having challenges around that? Okay, no. All right, so this person has just succeeded in logging into the orchestrator using the cloud.uiPath. So we'll just go straight to the orchestrator, then let's just look at the orchestrator, cases around the orchestrator. So can you please just click the orchestrator? Wow. So we have the orchestrator. Usually when you come in here, UiPath tries to give you some hints and tips around how you can go around the orchestrator, what you hope to see. So I will employ you when coming to UiPath and looking at different tabs. You see all of those tips. Do well to just go through the tips. It's going to show you some things you already know. And if there is new modification, UiPath will also incorporate it into the tips. So you can go through the tips. Then please just play the tips. Let's see what's new on your tips. So we start. No, start. Okay, all right. Go on, don't worry. So for others, play the tip on yours and you'll be able to get a tip around how you can navigate around the orchestrator. So notwithstanding, we have all of these in us. So we are facing out good. These are tips that you should know. There are some folder in the orchestrator that they are going to be facing out very soon. So they encourage us when planning our processes or when configuring our activities, we shouldn't configure around these classic folders. You see, queue rendering policy will be applied in 9 days. This will impact how long your queue items are preserved. So there are some policies, since you are just launching yours for the very first time, so it's giving us some guide that all of your queue activities that you may be running will be applied in 9 days, those policies. And after which you can then be using all of that. Yeah, you can read more around the documentation, so just close it. I just want us to see a fresh tip that we might be seeing in us. But if I run mine, you won't see any of those hints because all of these hints have been consumed. So you can click X, close those two tips that came with us. So let's look around the orchestrator environment. Hello, are you there? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, you just closed yours out. Okay, let me log in from mine. Let me share my screen. Okay, so he has just demonstrated by clicking the orchestrator, and I'm going to do the same here, clicking the orchestrator on my own. And all of those tips we got, I didn't get it. So when you come into the orchestrator, you get the dashboard that tells you lots about what you have. On currently now is that jobs. We'll look at what jobs is. Do I have a job? It's telling me no, I don't have any running job, no stopping, no termination, everything is zero. History, I could scroll down to see other information around and the charts around, no transaction running. Transaction June this to this date. So around this, if we look on top here, it's showing this is my workspace. And the workspace is here. We have the tenant. What is a tenant? A tenant simply serves like an organization. So from here, because we are on either the community or an academic version, we won't be able to add more tenants. But there are cases where you will be able to create more tenants. And let's assume you are managing greater firms that, let's assume First Bank, Zenith Bank, and all that. You can create many tenants that pertains them and manage them separately with a separate robot. So on this case, we have just one tenant, which is the default tenant, and those tenants are license-based, so you buy and all that. So having said that, we'll have my folder, we'll have the robot and all that. So let's start from the very top. From the top, we could use this to search tenants and all that, the default tenant, anything we want to search around, we could search and find it. We have, if we want to create package, we want to assign row, we want to add row to a tenant or a folder. Like we said, the UiPath orchestrator is actually used to manage. I think let's go back to that. Here, we say to recall orchestrator. Orchestrator control, monitor robots and all that. Deploy the workflow to the robot, manage the robot by scheduling tasks. So some of these activities is what we're going to be seeing here now. So some of this activity is what we're going to be seeing. Like we saw the setting provisioning. So we could do all of those provisioning, managing credential storage, machines. We could create machines, and each machine will serve like a computer on a computer, and this computer could either be in any form, it could be in a template form, or it could be on a standard machine. Now, if it's a standard machine, it means we are going to be marking that computer directly with its machine number and all that. It means that that machine, it means that that machine can hold a standard robot. So when that machine is asleep, robot can't run. But when we're using machine template, even when the machine is asleep, it's more like using Active Directory to control system. So even when the system is asleep, that machine can still execute unattended robot. So usually unattended robot can sit, both attended and unattended robot can sit on this machine template, while the attended robot will sit on the standard machine. So we'll look at all of these ones later on. So we could create a package. What is really a package? Now we'll see that. Then assign row, machine, then credentials. These credential stores are usually, like I said about the tenants, that the tenant could be for different organizations. You can keep each tenant store credentials there. And the webhook is actually used for hooking different web applications together in the orchestrator. Okay. So we'll be looking at creating and maintaining connection between robot and application. Okay, good. So let's first of all start by saying, while we are here, the first thing that comes into our mind is, if this is our tenant, we should be thinking of, okay, let's manage a robot in a predefined folder. Now, the number of folder you create here will also determine the kind of environment you'll be seeing in your studio. Let's create one folder first. And let me just call this folder training folder. That folder does not exist, so let me create that folder. So training for training purpose. So I'm going to create it and leave everything at the default and create. Now, if I create that folder, automatically we'll see that folder here. The folder wasn't existing here. So just give me a little time to just open my studio and just open any, let me just use the opportunity to create one. Like we already know how we get here and what all this one stands for. So I'll just quickly go to a process and just open a process. Let's call this a training process. That's gonna be so creating a project on the studio won't be problem to every one of us and how to utilize them. So all these we're already familiar with them. So let me just open the main workflow and see. Now below our studio, it tells me that I can see green light. The green tells me that my orchestrator is active. So I am directly connected to Orchestrator at this point. I could do anything and publish to Orchestrator. And this is the name I use in logging into the Orchestrator. So if I click here.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, someone has a question. Maybe
okay.
Before we get lost there.
Okay.
Yes, Joe.
See that?
Okay, my question is about machine. Is machine like a term for the computer that runs the workflow like locally?
Yeah, machine is where the robot is sitting that is going to execute the robot. So it's more like your computer, where the studio is the studio or the robot that is going to execute that process is residing. So like I said, that machine, there are two kinds of machine we could have in the orchestrator. We have the template machine and the standard machine. Now, if you are using the standard machine, it's going to be tied to that machine directly, and it's going to be using the machine credentials to log in. So if the machine is asleep and the robot is inside, the robot can't execute that because it's running on an attended robot. So if you are using the machine template and the robot is sitting, even when the machine is asleep, that's why I said something like an active directory. The orchestrator can still target that machine and execute the unattended robot in that machine to execute the task.
So, okay, I have another question. I'm sorry. How does machine templates do this now? Does it like save your workflow on a cloud, then run it from a remote computer or remote machine? How does it run
Okay.
the unattended robots?
Okay. When you set your orchestrator, like we just open a folder, you are fast tracking me. We are on this folder. The first thing you do on this folder is to see, yes, does this folder have a machine? Then you can create a machine, add a machine to the folder, add a machine to that folder. We just created a folder. So this is how the machine look like. You could see this is my system showing you my computer name. So this already tells me that this is a machine that has two kind of robot, a testing robot and a production robot on it, configured on this, but it's tied to that. So the machine, usually this is our orchestrator will be able to identify that that is the computer that has a robot. Now, I told you when we were starting that you could go to your start and use your assistant. How did your assistants know about the orchestrator and see that it's on? Is because of the connection between them. And sometimes you configure that from here. This is like a connection that helps the robot know, help the orchestrator knows about the computer that is going to call to do any task when you want them to, you want the task to be done. Hello?
Yes, sir. We're with you, sir.
Okay. I wasn't hearing anything from you.
Okay. Okay. I don't think you answered my question. I'm not yet satisfied with the response. Oh, my question is, okay, you said it can run unattended robots now on the machine template. So I was asking, like, how does it go about it? Because, like, okay, for instance, now my system is dead and I want to run a robot. Or
your system is
yes,
dead or is charged. I
it's
don't
not
get it.
accessible.
It's not
But
on.
yes, but I happen to have used this machine template mode now. Will I still be able to run it?
You won't be able to. Like I said, your machine is what holds your robot. Your robot is the one that executes your codes. Now, first, I said when your system is sleeping. I did not say when your system is dead. You know, when you blindfold your system, you don't want anybody to log in. Your system is still on. First, there must be this connection, this synergy between the orchestrator and that machine. The machine will be on, but is not blinded. I don't know whether you get it. Like right now, my machine is on and I can access anything. But if I don't want anybody to do anything while the machine is still on, I can lock my screen. But the machine is still on. At this point, the orchestrator will be able to see that machine and execute the robot even while the machine is locked. But if the machine is shut down, the robot and the orchestrator can't even see the machine, and so it will not execute the robot.
So it does it in the background.
Yes, with the machine template.
Okay.
So is that a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
There is another hand up. Omota Okende.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, is it related to
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I want to ask, what's the difference between that machine and UiPath Assistant? Because I read that UiPath Assistant is also used to trigger attended robots. So what's the difference between the machine and the UiPath Assistant?
Okay. I don't know whether you followed us from the beginning of the class. Hello? Hello?
I followed from the beginning.
Okay, there was a time I said this, that your orchestrator is a web-based, but it also has an assistant that from your system, you don't need to use the web. You could also execute anything from the assistant. Both of the orchestrator and the web has an assistant. Let me use the word an assistant. What he does on the web that we are doing, the assistant can still do it without me logging into the web on some cases.
Okay.
So that's why it's called data assistant.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So I think I was somewhere because of this machine. So let's just see, my machine has been configured. I'm just trying to see. Okay, I think let me do something. Let me remove the testing robot here. Can update these and also just try and formulate one so that I can have one more machine to work. So I have, remember we created a folder by clicking the folder and click add to create a folder for the testing. right?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. So this is my testing folder. What I just did on where I usually have my items running, I just clicked on that and try to see how I can reduce my configuration on this folder. I was having one production robot and one testing robot. So I have to go and edit it and take the testing robot off so that I can see if I can just show you how we can link your robot or your machine to the orchestrator. And mind you, because you are on a test environment, I mean, you are on unlicensed studio, your robot you will be able to add to your orchestrator may not be more than one. I think that was stated somewhere in the home or thereabouts. You will see it in your home telling you you have maximum of one robot, one production robot, one testing robot. So we are on the training now, and I want to just add a machine. So what I'll do is, let's say we're on Tenant. From Tenant, we clicked on folder. On folder, then I was not having, in your case, you may not be having these folders I have. You may just be having maybe the shared, my workflow, or just the shared. I don't know. That's what you may be having. So you just click on this new to create a new folder. And that folder will use it to create the training. On creating the role that I want to give that. Likewise in the machine too. So let me click on the machine. I can click on the machine. At this point, there's no machine on this folder. So I could just click on this, say manage machine in this folder. So manage machine in this folder, and that is the folder. I could say, okay, I want to add machine. Like I said, you could create the template machine, you could create the standalone machine and all that. So let me create this again. If I could have that, because we are limited with the test studio we have. So I'll create, what will I call this? This is a machine template.
Yeah, Theophilus.
So
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, Mr. Julius.
yes, the question.
We have someone raising his hands. I don't know if that's Theophilus. He has not spoken. I don't know if it's so key to what you've been doing, so that we don't get it lost and we can have a more robust interaction.
Too many hands.
Yeah, Theophilus.
Okay.
All right, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you.
Sorry to take you backward a little bit. I wanted to ask a question concerning the unattended robots, like the orchestrator performing an unattended robots on a lock machine. Is it, we know that there are some processes that have to do with foregrounds and background. I don't know if the attended robot can perform a foreground operation or rather a foreground process while the machine is on a lock mode. I don't know if you get my question.
Okay, go on. Why you are talking about the attended or the unattended robot?
The unattended robot.
Yeah. So the unattended, you want it to run. See, unattended robots can run with or without human intervention. Just set it, schedule it, and when the time comes, the robot executes. But with the attended robot, it can't run without the intervention of man by its side.
Okay.
So you can use the assistant. Let me just call up the assistant. You can use the assistant, and I think I have one I can just execute. Let me see. You can use the assistant while you're on the assistant, like I can just, unlike I could execute that and something just come up on the screen, and I start doing whatever I want to do with that on the screen. And if that is done, I click on submit and I get a message and all that. So with the assistant, I mean, with the ended robot, it needs somebody to come to the assistant. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Oh. Okay. Hello. Sorry. I think I'll have to go on break so that I can. Sorry. I think we are needed in our major class. Mr. Benita, please, can you spare us some time?
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we can go on break. We meet to that. We can make it 20 minutes past 8 our time, West African time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Hello? We can hear you, bro.
Okay, sorry. No, I think I need to leave your class. I want to come to another class.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, sir.
Sorry. All right, thank you.
Yeah, hello class. Okay. We should be back now. Discussion going on. So to cut off from lights that that Jesus has taken us to. So just a little more, and we'll get back.
Hello, house. Are we on break?
Yes, I think so.
Sorry,
Yes, we were on break. The break.
emergency came up that I needed to attend to. That was why.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
Okay, so we ought to have been back from break, but facilitator needs to do something shortly, and the heights to which he has taken us, I don't want to also cut off from there. So I'm still, I'm trying to pull him out of there.
okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, he's back to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I appreciate. All right, I think my colleague is yet to be here. Lady Testimony.
I'm here.
Hello.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so together we are still working with you as we go. So sorry, I think there's some questions. I don't know. We trashed all the questions so we can go on. So I'll just quickly share my screen again as we continue. So earlier on, we were talking about the orchestrator, and we also talked about the deployment. Now, this deployment is actually whatever you have done on your code, you published it into the orchestrator and you run from the orchestrator. So I did a sample run when a question actually came from my assistant to run a project that has been designed. So we'll just look at, that's why I have to open a studio and we'll just design something simple and see what we can do with that simple task. Like I said, underneath your studio, we already have the studio. Underneath the studio, there was a green light, and the green light tells you are connected to your orchestrator. And if your orchestrator is not on, you also see the message that you're not connected. So that now prompts you to see how you work with your. Usually it is advisable you try to use your assistant to connect. And if you want to connect with your assistant, you get to your assistant. Let me just disconnect from my assistant. I could log out of my assistant and my assistant is disconnected from there. So if you want to come in and then you get to your assistant again and find that at this point, oh, I didn't sign off my assistant. So at this point, you could see my assistant. Before now, there was a green light here. So showing that I am connected to my orchestrator. And underneath here, when my studio was on, you could see my name and a green light here telling me I am connected to my orchestrator. So with what I have now, I am no longer connected to the orchestrator. The studio is standalone. Being standalone doesn't mean we can't run our code. Your code can still run. The only difference is that you won't be able to take it to a managed system, a centralized managed system. So the orchestrator is like a centralized managed system that helps us manage our bots and all other activities we'll see hereafter. So with this, I think I'll have to call my colleague to just help us design an application and publish so that we'll see how we'll actually deploy an application from here. Then after which I'll come back again and we'll look at the queue and all that. So Lady Testimony, please can you join and let's just do a simple project, maybe hello world in a message box and publish to our orchestrator. So before she set up our system to show us that, I'll just have to connect my assistant again and we'll notice the difference. So Lady T.
Yes, I can hear
please please set up your system so that you just do maybe hello message and publish to your orchestrator. So we'll just look at how the publishing go. So while she's on that, let me come to the assistant. And to easily connect, I just have to sign in to my orchestrator. So I have actually signed into my orchestrator. But in your case, it will ask you for username and other information. Let me come to preference and you see some other stuff in the orchestrator setting. Your case is going to bring in something like this, where you need to put in the orchestrator connection string, connection, which is cloud.uipath platform and all that. Then if that is okay, you sign up. Then you see your status that is showing connected. But usually when you sign up for the first time, you may not see it connected. It will take like few seconds before you see the green lights and all that. So Lady T, are you ready for us?
Yes, I'll share my
Okay.
screen.
All right, thank you very much.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Chige said I should just create a process and publish, right?
Yes, just a process and publish.
Okay, let me create one. And call it.
Okay. So due to network, you may take a little while for you to get all the dependencies. Okay, ready.
Yeah, I'm just opening your iPad today. So let me open the new workflow so you can add activity inside.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the new workflow. So let's create just the project. So start with a message with message box. So
Yes.
let me first drag a sequence. And according to best practices, we should rename this. So we can name it, say, send message, and also add an annotation to let whoever is going to use this project later on understand what this process is for. So you can say this is a workflow. To output or send a message to the user. Yes. So before we output the message, we can also use log message just to log message just to let us know what is happening in the background. So let me rename this also. I can rename it probably start of process. And this I can rename it the end of process. And then put the log level to trace, just so we know what is happening in the background. And we can say, as the message, we can say start of send message process or bots, and then here we can put end send message process. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we can.
Okay. So that's just what I've done. So this is just to tell us what is happening in the background. So we're going to see here if we run it and say that, okay, this is the start of the process is starting, and then when the process has ended. So now let us output the message box. So we can either search for it here in the search activities or click plus and type message box. And let's rename this to output message. So now, here, what should we put here?
Just put training on an orchestrator.
Okay. Training on orchestrator. Yes. So also just this will always run, but just in case, for example, let's say you used a different activity like send email or check app states or whatever activity, and then if it doesn't run, instead of throwing an error and stopping the process, we can place this in a try catch, so that if this output message does not run, let me rename this to try to output message. So that if this output message does not work, what
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Hello, Testimony, we lost you.
Oh.
We lost our voice, not her.
We really lost our.
How join you? Don't go finish off for you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Can you hear
Welcome.
me?
Are you back?
Yes.
welcome
Oh,
back.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. Where did I get disconnected?
Try cache.
Try catch.
Okay. So I surrounded the activity here with try catch. So this is the output message. So try catch is just to catch any exception that occurs. So and then the exception, I caught any exception, system.exception, that's any exception that occurs. And then if an exception occurs, we're going to log this particular message. Okay. So yes, this should be okay. Let me save it. So then we can publish. So if you see here, I'm connected to this particular folder, trial demo. I'm connected to trial demo folder here. So then sorry. So yes, if you change the folder, then it's going to refresh resources. So I didn't change the folder, I still selected the same trial demo folder. So let's publish now. Can I publish now, Mr. Julius?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. So to publish, you just come here and click publish. And once you click publish, so you should note this thing. Let me close it. Once you click publish, the first thing that comes up is this publish process. So you should note what happens. It can also be asked in the exam. I think this was actually asked in my exam. So when you click publish, I mean, the first thing that comes up is the package properties, and then the package name is publish demo, which is the name of the process I created. This is the first time I'm publishing, so the version is 1.0.1, and then package icon is optional. We don't have to put this. And the project tag, release notes, you don't have to put this. So you can click next. So now the publish options currently is on custom. So if I publish to custom, then you can see the food. If someone say something.
Yes, please. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You didn't raise your hand. Young. You didn't raise your hand.
I need to pass that.
I did not hear you.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question about the version. Is it important that we change the version when you're publishing? I saw that version, but yes.
The version will be chosen automatically. Let's say I published before and then this is the second time I'm publishing. Then we're going to have 1.0.2. If so, as the published, the version is going to be changed. So 1.0.1.
Okay. So the version comes in automatically.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Changes because on it. If you change it, it might go and coincide with another version number. There it may throw you error. So just leave it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ephraim Samuel is raising his hands.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lady Testimony. talking about this version, when you publish was it an act, or when you publish the same work, like you want to publish it twice or something without any changes, can the version change or it still remains the same?
No, the version will change as long as you are publishing. Once you once
Even
if you
even
publish
there's no
this,
change at all on the yes.
yes, even if there's no change.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I was saying now currently you can see I'm publishing to a custom folder. And then if I publish now, it's going to be saved in this directory here. So if you want to publish, you don't want to publish to Orchestrator, you can publish it as a NuGet package. So let me see if I can show you how it's going to look like.
So again, just take note of that, what she just said, that what you publish, the file extension ends as .NuGet package. It might come out from your exams.
Yes, so this is it. So I published this to a custom folder. So you can see the first version. This was when I first published it. Search keywords this is the version 1.0.1. This is the first time. The NuGet package, NUPKG. And then the second time I published search keywords 1.0.2 NuGet package, so NUPKG. So this is how it comes out. If you are publishing to a custom folder, that is publishing it to your desktop, a directory in your desktop. But we are not going to do that. We want to publish to Orchestrator. So I can either publish to my personal workspace, which I'm not going to do. I can publish to Tenant process feed, which is going to be published to this folder here, trial demo, which I've already selected. So then I would click next, and this certificate signing is not, I don't use it, but if you actually want to publish an actual process in the reward, then you can put certificates and all the signing just to show that it is yours. And let us publish.
Yeah, so while that is going on, Joe is throwing his hands also. I don't know if Ephraim is done with his question or he forgot to lower his hands. But Joe definitely is just raising his hands. Can we entertain his question?
Okay, sir.
Joe? Okay, it's not here. You can continue.
Okay. So after publishing, so remember the first step, the first 3 steps that we did. We saw the first one where we saw the name of the package we are publishing, or the process we are publishing, then we chose where to publish, then certificate signing, then this next thing is now a dialog box that is showing us that a project has published successfully, the name and the version. So now I can go to Orchestrator and see it.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Yes.
Before we go to the orchestration, sorry, I see that there's orchestrator, tenant process, and then the orchestrator. What's the second one?
Personal workspace.
Personal workspace. So, what is the difference between tenant process and then workspace?
Okay, so look,
because
see the orchestrator.
I can see that the two are orchestrator.
Yes. So it's the both of them are on Orchestrator. So let me go to Orchestrator. I'll show you where the personal workspace and the tenant process feed is. So if we go to Orchestrator here, so it's loading. Okay. So now we can see, can you see here? Can you see the my workspace? So if you publish to the, yes, if you publish to the personal workspace, it's going to come here. But we published to trial demo. Remember I said the folder here is trial demo.
Yeah.
So if I click trial demo now, yes, so we should be able to see the package here or the so now that we've already published, let us add a process and see if anything was published.
So the adding of process, is that, sorry, hello, testimony.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, adding a process, is there anything we need to learn alongside as you're adding a process to this? I remember you just mentioned the environment that's going to talk about it. Is there any connection between this and the environment?
Yes, but it's not, it doesn't deal with the process, it's with the folder. So you have to add machine to, first of all, machine which you have already set in the tenants. You had your machine, you add robots, either unattended or attended.
Okay, don't worry, just continue. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. So now, since we've already published, right? We published it now, it's now a package. So, but now it's not, you can see this is processes. It's not going to be under processes. Now, to now make it a process, we are going to go and select it, the package. So you see, I just clicked add process, and then if I select the package source name, now you can see these are some other processes and packages I published. But this is the one that we just newly publish demo. So now we click publish demo. Yes, so you can see the entry point here is main.xaml, package version is 1.0.1 and so on.
No input or output argument.
What did you say?
I can see that the current package version has no input or output argument.
Yes, because there's nothing in the arguments. So if you want to pass variables between yes, if you want to pass argument between workflows, then create arguments. So, but we didn't set any arguments, so we have no. Yes. So we click next.
I can see. Sorry, I can see a Omotayo Kente. I don't know if it is about what you are doing currently.
Okay.
Before we go too far, Kende.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
It's a man.
Go ahead with your question.
Okay. I thought a published project will be stored as a NuGet, but what I'm seeing here is a package. So I want to ask, what's the difference between package and NuGet?
NuGet is the package. It's published as a NuGet package.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not just NuGet package. Okay.
Yes. When you saw the NuGet was when she published it on a local machine. It's the same thing like when you publish on the Orchestrator, which is the web, but you won't see that extension as the NuGet package. But it's called, in this environment, it's called package. Why on your desktop it's called the NuGet package. So you can still upload it here manually. So you just follow her.
Yes, you can see click to add or drop package file here. So if you wanted to just drag here from here, drag it here. And then that's how you upload.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
so now,
you're welcome.
So now, what's the difference between that tenant process and the
and the
second orchestrator? I've forgotten the name of the second. Yeah. So what is the difference?
Okay.
Maybe you got disconnected, sir.
Go on. I think you have answered the question before. You can go on again.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Let me just cancel this and go back.
Okay.
So look at this. If you look at this now, this is my Orchestrator. I have no idea where it's back. But you can see this. You can see Adams.tt at workspace. You can see another folder shared. You can see another one, child demo. So now if you are publishing to workspace, if you publish to your personal workspace, this is where it comes. This is your personal workspace.
That is, if I choose tenant process, Abi?
No. Personal workspace. This is my workspace. So that's your personal workspace. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get you.
But if you want to create another folder, for example, I have two folders here. We have shared and we have child demo. Yes. So if you, for example, now, if you don't want to create publish to your personal workspace, I mean, and then you want to publish to a particular folder that's already created. Yes. So then you click tenant process. But before clicking tenant process, you must have selected that folder here. So you can see I selected trial demo.
Trial demo, yeah. Okay.
Yes. So you can see I selected trial demo. So this is going to publish to trial demo folder. So the personal workspace would run attended processes or attended processes. Attended processes, I mean. Attended processes. But these other folders can also be used to run unattended.
Unattended processes, automation.
Yes. Mr. Julius, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, okay. There are other hands. I can see John Away, Lucky, and Nance. Ephraim Samuel still raising his hands.
Okay.
Hello, testimony.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Is there a connection between the folders and the tenant? Are those folders, like these folders now, are they all inside that tenant?
Yes, the tenant, like I told you, is like an organization. Why the folders you are seeing is like an environment, a team of work. Okay, let's take it as an example. In this, you have an organization like First Bank. In First Bank, you have a team of persons like in finance, HRO. You could create a folder like what you are seeing here and pass the robots of finance into that folder. Like this trial demo, just take it as if it's a finance department or finance environment, team of persons. So you can plug in all your robots inside this. So when you publish, the robots that will be executing here will be executing finance projects. So the tenant is like a parent house to the children. The folders are children in the tenant. So I think that analogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can also see here that when I went to tenants and I went to folders, you can see the two folders are under the tenants. But then to view your personal workspace, you come here to view the personal workspace, which is just my workspace here. So you can see that the folders are under the tenants.
So have you used that child demo before? Because I'm seeing some automations in it.
Yes, I've used it before.
Okay.
So let's go back to creating a new process here.
We still have Lucky and Nance. John, I went slower.
Okay. Yeah. Madam Testimony. It's nice meeting you.
Yes.
You did a short code before you publish it. Is it in a live scenario? Is it not good to validate the code by running it first before you publish?
Yes, yes. Before publishing, it's good practice to run it, validate before publishing. But because we didn't do anything that could actually bring error, let me run it now. So it would always run. So let me just run it. That's why we didn't run it. So I can run it now.
Okay. In addition to what testimony is saying, it's just that we are just showing how to publish. We are not trying to do a real life scenario. In real life scenario, before deployment, you would have done your coding, your testing before taking it to production. So we are just showing you how you take your code to production.
Okay. So to continue, yes, we click the package we want to, the package that we just published, which is publish demo. And so we can see the version, entry points, and it has no input or output arguments because we didn't set any. And then we click next and no package requirements. So we have nothing to do here. We click next, and so you don't see the description when I was creating was blank process. I didn't have any description. When creating a process, it's best practice to add a description. But since we are just demoing, let's leave it as blank process. And the job priority, we have high, normal, low. So we can leave it as normal. So if it's high, it's run first, low, then we have high and normal priority will run before low. But we can leave it as normal since we are just demoing. And process can't be stopped. If we click this now, and then we run that process from UiPath Assistant, or we run it from Orchestrator, we can't stop it from UiPath Assistant. So this toggling this button will do that. And this is also automatically start process, which we don't want, which you don't want to happen. So that's when just open assistant, for example, or if open assistant and then this is turned on automatically start process, then the process is going to run. But since we don't want any of that, we can just click create and create a new process. So now we've created a new process. So if I go back to, let me go back to trial demo folder.
Theophilus is raising his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. That's a plus.
So let me just log in this question. I don't know if I've been spoken about on I understand the process of building a process, but I don't really understand assets and queues. I don't know if we've talked about it already or do we talk about it later? Just want to ask.
Oh, they will talk about it later.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, since we've already published, we've already added the process. You can see the process here, publish demo. So this is the process, same version. Now, before running the version, before running this or demoing this, let's publish again. Let's publish again and just see the way it's going to change. So you can see now current version is 1.0.1, 1.0.2. So let's just confirm that we are still publishing to tenants. Yes. So let's click publish. Yes, publish successfully. So if we come back here and let's refresh here. So you can see this sign, meaning that someone has published or the developer has published another version. So this is it. Updates are available. So you just come here, click the 3 dots, and upgrade to the latest version. And you will see that we have 1.0.2. So you see, we didn't change anything. But as long as you publish, the version is going to change. You can see here, this process is 1.0.13. I published it 13 times. So you can keep on publishing and making changes to your code after you've published. So now we can, because this particular folder already has a machine, it has a robot. You can see, let me see this. This is the job priority, which we set as normal. This is the execution type, it's unattended. This is the compatibility, Windows, entry point, description. I didn't put any description. So we can try to run this
Hello, ma.
now. Okay, hello.
Hello.
I can hear you, hello.
Please,
Yes, we can hear you.
I was following what you were doing and I'm doing on my system here. But what I saw on my own is that the execution type on your own it's put unattended, but in my own it's put unspecified. I don't know, is there any?
Yes, it could be that, first of all, maybe you don't have a robot. Your machine isn't yet connected to the trial demo. And this could also be that you don't have maybe an unattended robot in the folder.
Okay, maybe it was the what Mr. Julius wanted to do before I don't know, because I was just seeing unspecified there.
Because if you see my own folder now, you can see that I clicked on settings and clicked on machine. You can see that I have 2 here, my machine and test here. Yes, and each of them have robots on it, one unattended robot on it. So you can check machines now and check if you can see any machine.
It seems we haven't created the machine before, Mr. Julius.
Okay, when you click on the folder and click on the machine, by the right hand side, you see manage your machine in the folder.
Yes, so this is what you see.
So you can add your machine here.
But
But
it's
she
not
has
created this.
already utilized her own, so she will not be able to add. Then you can just click the add. And if you want to add machine, for those that don't have, like we're talking about the using the machine template or the standard machine. So you could use standard machine and get the machine keys. So how do you get your machine
We should
key?
use
We'll look
standard.
at that one. You can use any of the two, standard or you can use standard or the machine template, any of the two. Like you could see Lady Testimony owner, she had one for the template and one for standard. Hello?
Can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Yes. So if you are taking the standard, if you are, okay. Okay, let me allow Lady Testimony to be true. Don't worry about that. We'll come back and look at that. Then you can then publish yours.
Okay, back to this where we have our processes. So now
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Sorry, please. Will the version there, that means 1.013 said this was published 30 times, right?
Yes. Yes.
Does it mean for that 30 times the last one will overwrite the previous one?
No. Okay, let me publish again. So if we publish now, with our publish demo now, if we publish.
Okay. In addition to that, your question, what the testimony is telling you, the last one doesn't override, but the last one is the one that is active. You can also roll back to any of the version. There's a version control system somehow. You still have all the versions there.
Okay.
Yes. So for example, if I publish now and we have successfully published and go back here and refresh, you can see that it's still 1.02, but this button is telling us that someone has published. There's an update. And then now to go to the latest version, which is 1.0.3 now, we upgrade to the latest version. Just click on these three dots and upgrade to the latest version. Confirm. So now you can see it's now 1.03, 1.0.3. I mean. So that is how it's done. So now that we've published the process we wrote, and then we also added it as a process. We can now run it. So if I click on
Testimony.
then yes.
Sorry, please, before you continue, when you uploaded now, it shows unattended robots, but you have two robots in your machine. So does it automatically pick one? The template one.
Actually, the two robots I have are unattended. The only robot I have in the folder is unattended. I have the
But one
same
was
robot.
template, one was standard.
No, that's the machine. The same robot is inside that machine. I
So
have two machines.
when we create the machine, then we create the robot again.
No, when we create the machine, then you add the robots. You have, since we are using academic alliance, we'll have been giving one unattended, one attended. So once you create a machine, you add the robots.
We didn't see that part, though. We have to add the robots.
No, Mr. Julius will do that after. We did not talk about adding a machine.
Okay.
Yes. So we can now run it now. So I can just click start a job. This is the way to do it. You can schedule, we can trigger also. But let's just click start a job now. So we see the priority is normal. We are executing one time. We have no argument. So there's no points here because we have, setting anything here because we didn't set any arguments. We have no arguments. Unattended.
Well, can we set up arguments from the orchestrator?
Yes. So let's say you have an argument that is accepting inputs, you can set it. Those that are accepting inputs. Yeah. Then the machine, I can either choose a machine or leave it as any machine. Anyone that's available will run it. And also robots also. The account also. I have one. And yes, so we can run it now. So I can click start. Yeah, so now it's automatically went to jobs. But if I click on jobs like this, so we can see that it is running. The status is running because the job is running now. So it is running. So we're going to wait for it to run. And just started a few seconds ago. Host name, this is my host name. Okay, so you see it is running. And you can see this something that's like video player to show that it is running here. So I click OK. And yes, it's done running. So you can see that the status is now successful. Yeah. So you can run it again here. You can choose to schedule also schedule the job so that it will start at a particular time. You can choose to trigger it also. So yeah, so if you run a number of processes and you come to jobs, you see when you run it. But it clears from time to time. I don't know the interval, but it clears because I've run a lot of processes on this folder. But I can see that it is empty. because it clears this history here. Sir?
Maybe the triggers that are responsible for that when you set duration for what you are doing.
I did not get that, sir.
You know, at when we get to triggers, normally you set duration when you want your robot to run, like duration maybe Monday to Fridays or 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I said that could be responsible for what is clearing the work you are doing. When we get to trigger, when we get to triggers, maybe we'll get more light. Let's continue. We have this is 9:18, and we still have a lot of grounds to cover. Maybe I should advocate for 1 more hour. I suppose I'm thinking that people here, they would be able to spare 1 more hour, except that I did not tell you that I'm going to extend to that time. But just looking at the way it's going, I'm thinking it would extend beyond 10. Just preparing your minds, and because it's the last day, I'm sure you would want to give it to us. We can continue with the testimony.
Oh, I think I'm done. Mr. Julius can.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Lady Testimony. Thank you,
Yes, you're
everyone.
welcome, sir.
Yeah. So we have seen the publish, and the testimony has taken us how to walk through the orchestrator. In addition to that, like I said, the orchestrator is a web application. The assistant can still do some similar work that you just have to do. Let's just see. Let me publish one. Think I'll just share my screen, publish, and see the how you can also use the assistant to do something similar. Then most of the full-fledged and other activities are embedded in the orchestrator on the web. So try to get your hand free with the web than using the assistant. The assistant is easy to use. Okay, like I think we can see my screen. Here's the assistant. We can see my screen. Hello?
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you can see it, sir.
Okay. So this is the assistant. I just want to get this application up so that testing application. Okay, let me see. So that I can also publish that and we'll see testing application. Okay. So like when we saw testimony running the application from the web, from the assistant, I did it earlier on, running an application that is supposed to be sitting on the web from the assistant. I'll just do a quick one. Now, like when we go to a folder, the assistant automatically shows us some of the already made process that we have in the system. And you just see them, the one recently ran, all the processes I have. If I have many processes, I'll be seeing them here. So I can easily run them here, just as Lady Testimony did from the web. And first, your orchestrator needs to be connected. That means you must see this green light that you are connected and you run, and you'll be able to get it. Then let's see the publishing and see what the publishing does. I'm not going to do anything with this one. I'm just going to end this. So this is the same application that did that, what we were saying there just now. So if I run it from the studio, you see it's going to present us the same thing. It's going to present us the same thing that when I ran it from the assistant gave me. So let's just say, I think I'll just do one modification on it and publish it. Or we could do nothing. Let me just add message box to this, a message box to this, and say, let's just call this a test second message. So I could rename it from here, or I could use the property to name our activity. We saw Lady Testimony actually naming the activity. So let's say this is a test message 2. But I think all of these things, don't mind us, we are just fast with this because we know you're already familiar with that. So we don't get more of that. To explain on that. Ma. Oh, sorry. Naming the wrong object. And this one, let me just change this one to sequence main. And then just put anything there, you see message to pop out. We have just done this to what we have, and I'm just going to publish it. Now, I already see that I am connected to this, so let me publish that. Publish that. So next, I'm not doing anything to this, and I'm publishing it to my orchestrator. I'm not going to put anything and just finish. So this is the publish we did, and it was successful with version 2.0. So I can just come to my assistant, and in my assistant, I'll just see, I know this is what I worked on. I could just click on this. And if I click on this, I will see I'll see install. Install is actually telling me that there's a new update on it. So I'm not going to see the full information around the way you saw it in the orchestrator. But because I know I published to this environment, so when I click on this, I'll see the install. So I could click on this install. Automatically, he loads the new package that I just published to the cloud. Remember when I ran first time? When I sorry, somebody, please, can you mute? So remember the first time I ran it, you just ran, I click and one message came in. But this time we're going to see 2 messages. Now, when I published the first just now, you were able to see install, which tells me I have a package to just run up to. So now I have clicked on that install to update the new package that I published, and it just goes here. So this makes it more easier, though you are not going to be seeing the wider range of all the activity, but it's good you know that. Don't come through the shortcuts. Shortcuts are not always good. Okay, so I'll just run the package again, and the package runs with the same thing. Remember, I just added one message box in the new package when I published it. So this is the first one that comes with it normally. So if I click OK again, I should see the last one, message pop up and all that. So this is the new addition that I just added. We could see another way we could publish and use the assistant. Like when somebody was asking me what's the difference between the assistant, we cannot see that the assistant is just like a mirror of the orchestrator in our local machine. So having said that, I believe there will be no question on that. If there's no question, I'll just quickly rush to the other part. Now, we created this folder for the purpose of what we have. And when we created the folder, we have this, and we want to just create a machine on it. So I said we'll click on the machine. Then here I don't have a machine. So I can click on manage machine, and I'll have something like this. So I want to add a machine. Now the machine I already have just one test this. So let me add a standard machine at this point. If I take a template machine, here will be asking me a template name, and here will be asking me what kind of robots I want to run on them. So somebody was asking, how do I put the robot? So you would have bought a robot. The robots are licensed based. So you buy the license from UiPath. It gives you the number of robots you should have. So like you could see here is telling me production unattended. He's asking me the robots, but he has told me that UiPath has provided me with one. So the maximum I can put in this my template machine that I must name, I'm going to give a name, is going to be 1. Then the maximum number of testing robots that I am going to use on this template machine, if I'm going to have one, is still going to be 1, because this is what I have available. So if you have 10, you'll be seeing 10. You can choose to use 3 of the robots out of your 10. Likewise, the same thing. When you do that, you can go on with that. So let's just say I have the description is going to be, okay, let me just first of all put my 1 robot that I have. I know that I have, that UiPath has given me for free. So I'll take 1. Sorry. By the time I put 2, you could see that it's telling you the value must be between 0 and 1. UiPath already know that it's either I don't have or I utilize the maximum, which is 1. So if I put 1 there, it will be okay for me. Here again, if I still put more than what I have, UiPath is going to flag me the error. So until I put what I have, or I don't want to take any of the robots, I can use that. So here on the template name, let's just put a description orchestrator training. Let me just say. So that is just going to be my description. So what is going to be the template name? The template name usually is supposed to be your machine name. And how do you get your machine name? If I had not connected my my orchestrator from our assistant, I could have been able to find my machine name from the preferences. I can click on the, go to preferences. And from preferences, I'll get my orchestrator settings. And from that settings, I could get my machine name. If I select, so it's not going to allow me select until I sign out. So I could select to use my machine name to connect. But here I'm using the orchestrator. So let me use my machine name to connect. I can just go and say, open my command prompt, CMD, and say host name. And I should be able to get my machine name. I could take this and use it, or I could say, who am I? And I could get the full name, and I could also use this on the template. So let me use this. So let me put my machine name. So I type in my machine name. Everything seems like this. Okay. All right, nothing much. So I'll just click on provision. And that has been provisioned. I could get my machine key and append my machine key to my orchestrator. And you could see your machine key and all that. They are all there. So I could close it. And that gives me this robot, this system running here. So I am good with this. So with this, on this mesh, on this folder, I have gotten my machine and my robots ready in this folder to run. A lot of that we're having problem with the machine. This is how you assign your machine to, how you assign your system to your folder. So I was also talking about some other information we were saying. Now, when Lady Testimony was working, each time you publish, the file comes in as package. So we could see package. Now, on this package, if you had, like when Lady Testimony published a package on a desktop, let's say I want to publish on my desktop. Let's just do something again, and another modification on this, and say anything. Just say anything, and that is the new addition I have. I could also publish it, and this time when I publish this, it goes straight to the orchestrator, because if we come to the publish option, this is the package name that I'm publishing, and if I click on next, the version has increased. The old version was versions 1.0.2. If I click on next, I should be able to get where I'm publishing it to. I'm publishing it to my workspace, which is that. Now, assuming I don't want to publish it to my workspace, I want to publish it on my local machine, not to the cloud. I could use custom and select the folder where I want to take it to. And let's assume I want to just drop it on my desktop, a folder in my desktop. Let's say that folder is somewhere. Okay, let me just create the folder and call the folder testing. And that's the folder I want to create I want to publish it to. Yes, that's the folder I want to publish it to. So I can just put the folder there. The API key is not really necessary. So, and if that is okay, I just click on next. And all of this information, just leave them on their default and click on finish. Now, when I published this doesn't go to the cloud. If I go to the cloud now, or I use my assistant, like we said, let's go to my assistant. If I come to the dots here, I won't see that install because it's not in the cloud. This is like a mirror to the cloud. So when you check the cloud, it means that I didn't publish it. I actually published it and it's somewhere published. So if I go to my desktop, I think I don't need to even repeat this. Lady Testimony has really dealt on this. So I'll just only show you how to upload it, and that's all. I'll just go to my desktop. I just go to my desktop. This is a testing desktop. And if I look at the desktop, I'll see the package here. So the package is actually here. So let me just come here. Remember, I came here by clicking on this add, and I said it's package I want to bring in. And when I click on the package, it brought me here. Now, it's telling me, see, let's assume you have actually developed a project and you want to send it to your colleague to run it in his orchestrator to test. Because you're already using test robots in your orchestrator, and it cannot be used on somewhere else. So you can actually publish it on your local machine, send that NuGet package to your friend, who then comes to his orchestrator like this and take and browse. When he browses, he can browse to his desktop, go to the test folder, go to the test folder, and it gets the NuGet package and it runs it. Now, when it runs it, it says, I would like to see which process can be upgraded. You could just check that, but I'll just go for the upload. And when I click on upload, the file automatically upload into my orchestrator. And this time, let's see it from here. Let me refresh. Okay. So a package has actually been uploaded to my package. So we could see the package here. It's actually showing here. I could say, okay, yes, I want to upgrade the process and upgrade it. And it actually goes in. No one was found and all that. A minute ago. Okay, so that is for package and how you upload. You can also use that button to upload by clicking this upload and come through the ad. Then a quick one, I don't know whether you are supposed to look at these rules. Yes, these rules are roles and privileges you give to users on those folders. You could, because you are using a trial version and you won't be able to do anything, add more roles and all that. Peradventure, you are the administrator of a firm and you have access to this folder and you have multiple robots. You can then grant other users or other developer access and privileges to each of the folder. That is where these roles and who you assign roles and all that, robot you assign and all that comes in. So I could just click assign roles to user. So if you have multiple user, you could also just invite the user by their names in here and assign what roles you want to give to them. So because of our limited space, we don't even have users that will assign roles to. So we have talked about machine. Now, credentials, you may not use it. You can only use credentials when you have multiple tenants. And here we're only having the privilege to use one tenant. So we can't use that. Okay. Here is notification and alerts you'll be getting. Sometimes you get processes that are running, you get the alert messages. If maybe your robot is filled and you are trying to add extra robots, you also get some alert messages. I think I have one Orchestrator account where I loaded more than the robots I have. In trying to add another robot, started throwing me error. I have to stop the alert message. I'll share that maybe there's time, but for now, I see we don't have time. So I'll just stop from that. Let's see. Okay.
Julius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, can you show us standard machine also?
Yes, just as I did with template. Just as I did with the template, same thing you have with the standard machine.
Can you provision attended robots on standard machines? I mean unattended rather.
You see that what we were given is the unattended. And I showed you the two we have. So if I come here and click on machine, I could come to manage machine. I just use the what is it called? I use the template machine. And when you click on add, just as I used machine template, you can also use standard on your own and put the machine name here and the machine. Okay, let's go back. It's the same thing. You are just asking me to repeat the same thing. It's just that I use standard in the case. You can see that the environment is the same thing.
Yeah, I want to suggest that you move to queues, asset, triggers, because those aspects are very germane to even to questions.
Yes. So you could see that the screen doesn't change. All you just do is just to change the name that when I use templates, you can use standard on your own case and pass in the machine name, which is your system name. Who am I? Who am I? The description, the number of robots you want to use, and this. Hello, for the person that raised the question. So the screen is not different.
So now
then
what's now the difference?
The difference is what I told you, what they can do. That when the system is locked for a standard machine that is running on attended robot, unattended robot can still execute a process like what we are saying. But if you are using attended robot, it can't execute. The system must be open up before that process can be run. So you can read more about that so that we can cover much. I think I don't have really much time to spend on this. Or better still, okay, yes, I just read around that. Then you can call and I'll talk about that later on. So I can cover other part of the course. Okay.
All right, it's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we have somebody was talking about we could see we have folder, the robots, number of robots we have, monitoring. This can actually show us our dashboards and what's are running, history of jobs. I've executed 4 jobs, 4 successful, 40 ones, and all that. Then we'll have managed assets. Then we'll have the machine, the package, which we have talked about, audits. Okay.
Yeah, yes, you are under tenants. If you go to my workspace, you'll have access to.
Okay. All right. So now we want to get all of these other activities now. Let's first of all talk about assets. We have talked about process. Now, assets. What are assets? Assets are like variables in your normal studios, your normal studio. So they are used to actually store data. So assuming you don't want your data to always change, maybe over the time, you may change studio, you may do other processes, but your data will always remain. You can come here and store those data, those variables. So if you actually let's create one asset and see what we'll do. So assets, I want to create an asset. And let's give the asset a name. And let's say the name is my value. That's the name of the asset. Now, like variables in your studio, they have data type. Now, take note of all the data type that is in assets. They are not the same as the one you have in studio. You have 4 data type in the orchestrator. 1 is test, 2 is Boolean, 3 is digits, and the 4th one is credential. These are the only 4. You might likely come across this in your exams. So, like we know what variables can do, that same thing asset can do. But assets store it because you don't want the data to change, right? So let's assume I want to say this is my first project. I can just create this asset and leave it in my orchestrator, and that asset is saved. I just know the name of the asset. So each time I want to design a project, I want to do anything, I can come and say get assets in my project and call the asset by this name and allow it. Without this time, I'm not publishing. Okay, let me take a new project. Let me run a new project. That's not been published. I think we're using one just now. So I think that is what little you need to know about assets. Then for the credential, like we saw, we have Boolean, which we already know is a true or false value. I can say I want to create a variable and create a variable. Let's say I want to say, let's first of all say get assets. So you could see get assets. So, and is under the orchestrator domain. So you can bring your get assets in and put your asset name here. That's the name of the asset. And let's say, if you say get asset, usually you are going to, after getting the asset, the value is going to be stored somewhere. It's going to be kept somewhere. So I want to say, I want to keep the value in something. So let me create a variable to keep the value. Let me say the value I want to keep is, I want to keep it in a variable called text. So that's where I want to keep it. After which, let's really see whether this will actually get what we stored in our cloud. Let me bring a message box in. And drag it down and see I got this, this value from the orchestrator. Then let me append it. Sorry, everywhere that I can hardly see, so don't mind me. And the variable I stored it on after getting it from the orchestrator is in test. So you could see, I just say, okay, get a value that is not in my code at all. But because I know I don't want to be changing that value, I store the value somewhere in the cloud. So every time I'm writing my code, I can say get that value from the cloud and use it in my project. So let's run it. And when I run that, it's not because my orchestrator is open. I would have even closed my orchestrator, sign out, but the project will still run. So you could see what we got. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, yes.
What we got is
Yes,
I got value from the orchestrator, and the value I got is what is written here now. This is my first project in the orchestrator, is this value. So having said that, we now know that an asset is actually a variable that is kept in the orchestrator or kept in the cloud. So you can use it to store many values, many variables, and then use them in your projects anytime, anywhere, knowing full well that if, assuming you have a project that run across different platforms, and you want to be able, like I said, the orchestrator is to manage projects, to manage robots, to manage processes, and you want to be able to manage that variable centrally. You can store that variable in your orchestrator and call it into your project. So anywhere robots are running that process, they'll be calling that variable from the orchestrator. So if you feel like, okay, today maybe the process will be running only on 2001 record, and after you are done with all 2001 record, you want it to start running on 2002 record. So you can just go to the orchestrator and change it to 2002, and all robots automatically start calling that process again, and they start executing for only 2002. So from that central point in the asset, you would be able to control everything, what they do. So you can store that variable you want to use to centrally control things there. A good scenario or a good use case is, let's assume somebody asks you to build a project and they want you to be sending a mail to the CEO of the company. And over time, the CEO changed. Instead of you putting the email address of the CEO on a machine, you can go and put the CEO email address somewhere in the orchestrator. And that's where credentials can come in, where you know that you want to centrally change maybe the CEO is the one that is the administrator. You want to centrally be changing his email address and his password. It logs into that asset, take the credential as its variable, and okay, I think that's a use case I can point. Let me go back again. So we just saw we creating an asset. I could create many assets. I could come back. We already know how I came to the asset. On my workspace, So let me go back to Tenant, my workspace. I could see this time I have one asset there now. I have one machine, so I could take my asset. I'm here. Yeah, I could see the add. I could add asset. Let's say this time I want to add asset and say, take this time. Remember, I told you assets are like variables. So let's say my first number this time, my number is the name of my variable, and I want it to be integer, and I want it to be 200. Okay, no, I want it, let me name it my counter. Counter. And I want it to count from 5 downward or 6 downward. That's it. I could put any description, I could put label, anything I want to put, I could put it, but they are not relevant to me for this purpose. So I could create it. And I have another variable called counter, my counter, and the value is 6. So I could write I could say, okay, this time I want to write a for each variable that read 2 times 1 to whatever the orchestrator counter is. So I will just change it. Let's say we want to do a multiplication stuff. So I could bring in an activity called maybe a y activity. So I can bring in a y activity and say in that y activity, let me first of all get my asset. Get assets. I could also set assets from here too. I could set assets, get assets, set assets. So I could change the value of my asset if I want to change it. Let me first of all get this value and also change it. Okay, let me get an asset. So just play around many activity you could do. I just want us to see what we could do with assets. And this is my counter. That's the asset, and I'm going to store it in a variable called counter. Sorry, is anybody even following, or I'm just talking? Hello?
No, sir, we are
following.
sir.
We are following, sir.
We are
following. Thank you. So I'll just say counter. Or am I too fast? Sorry, I think I should have asked this question long ago.
I think so.
Thank you. So sorry. So I think I'll have to stop and ask for questions so that I'll be able to flow along with you. But mind you, we're still running out of time. That's just my take on it.
I think you should go on, sir. We're getting it. If we don't get it, we'll go back.
Okay, thank you.
Go back to the place.
Please go on.
Thank you. I think the video is being recorded, so you can pause, replay, and all that. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I got that, and I got my set assets. I could, when you take your set assets, you can come to the property, and in the property you say what the asset name, the value you want to give it to give to the asset. That's all you just need. What is the asset name? What value you want to give it? Now, we already have the asset name here. Remember, our asset is 6. I just want to increase it a bit to maybe 12. So this is my asset name, and I want to increase the value to 12. We have succeeded in doing something around that in the asset. Remember, we got the asset, and the asset is 6. But here I have reset the asset value to 12, and I'm coming to the Y, and I say I should have even reset the asset first before saving itself. Let me reset the asset first. So it goes to the cloud, reset it to 12, then get the asset, and so this value will become 12 now, no longer 6. But if I had done the reverse, this counter would have still be 6, even when the asset has been changed to 12. Okay, so I'll just come here and say when counter is when count is less than or equal to 12 is less than. Sorry, I need a light around me. Sorry, a minute. Shit, my battery is getting low. Hey, sorry, a minute. I need to charge my phone. It goes off automatically already off the class. Okay.
Why you do that, sir? Can Madam Testimony attend to this question?
Okay, go on with the question.
From what you told us is as if the difference between the data types, that is what is the name of the orchestrator and what is the name? The project is strings and credentials, right?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said the difference on the orchestrator is only we have credentials there. Do we have credentials in the project?
Okay, no, project is a different thing. Project is whatever you design, a workflow you design here. When you push it to the cloud, it's called a project. If it's still on your local system, it's a NuGet package. Project and package are the same thing, just that one is in the cloud, one is sitting on your system. But now, the asset we are talking about now, just take it as a variable, but a variable in the cloud.
Okay. And the last question is this, sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry. Do we have any short keys for this platform on the orchestrators? Functional keys.
Functional keys. Can you break it down? Sorry, I'm lost.
Maybe what's functional keys?
Sir?
Like all the F1, F2, F3 or what? Are those? Is that what they're talking about?
No, what I mean, when you have maybe control plus this or whatever.
Shortcut.
Okay. Okay, shortcut key.
Yes.
Okay. This is a web-based application. On the web base, your shortcut keys are applied to any web, like Control A is copy, highlight all page, Control C is copy, all those kind of, anything that applies to web-based shortcut is what applies here. So it doesn't have its own special shortcut keys here.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Okay. So we just created these and I'm back to the studio. Don't mind whatever I'm building on the studio. They are small things, so they don't really matter. I'm just building it to explain something, right? So we just said, like, the reason I'm bringing the set activity, I guess you already know why I'm bringing it in. I mean, set asset. Do we? Can somebody tell me why I brought in the set asset? A minute.
I think you brought it in so that show us how we can change the stored.
Thank you very much. That's very correct. That's just the reason I brought it in. No other stuff. So that you know that even when the value here was 6, I went to the set assets to rechange it to 12 and also get the value. After changing it, get the value from the asset, and we want to count and do some mathematics. So having said that, thank you very much. Sorry, may I know the name At least if it's only that name I took back. Sorry, the last person that spoke, what's the name?
Omotayo.
Okay, Omotayo, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to bring in assign activity. Let me just type it. I think we already know what all this one is. So let me just say multi-table. It's like in this class, it's only made as in this class. So I don't know. I did not hear any female talk throughout from beginning. When Lady Testimony was talking, I was thinking ladies will be the one asking questions. Okay, I just try to make my screen a bit big so that two of us can see it. So I have my multi-table as my variable, and the variable is going to be string multi-table. I believe they have taught us a lot about variable, and this is their property scope. So I'll just have to increase the scope to sequence because I want to use it somewhere. Okay, I haven't done that. I need my multi-table. In my multi-table, I want to say whatever I have in the multi-table multiply. First of all, my multi-table plus a new line plus environment dot new line. For those that are familiar with codes, multi-table plus environment plus new line plus let me just say counter times $12 times counter. Okay, let's say it's a multiplication of, so you just say 12. Let me take a quote, 12 times counter. Times count. So that would just give me a straight line like 12 times 1, assuming is 1. And let me even put something here. Let me count multiple times count. Or better still, let me just make it simple. Let me just, instead of doing a multiplication table, let me make something simple and just put the counter 12 times. A new line, x of counter of count. So it's going to repeat 12 times. That's what I just think I was going to do. I just want to make it simple. Let me not make too compound because of time. So I have that, then dot to string. Let me make it simple like that. So we have succeeded in writing our code, and what the code is going to do is simple. Don't want to compound what we think around that. So what is good code is going to do is simple. First, if code is going to get us, it's going to change our asset value that was 6. It's going to get us the asset. Then it's going to loop 12 times and write up this line for us. I think that's all we need. Then after or it's going to just say finish. Just finish. End program. And I think that's all I could run. So let's
We can't hear you, sir.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Or is it from my end?
It's general. It's general.
Oh, thanks.
Sir, we cannot hear you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Hello.
No.
Hello.
now.
Hello, can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you
I
now.
think I was
Yes,
having bad network.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. My screen still shared. Okay, I think I'll just have to unshare and reshare again. So I'll stop the process and run again. I'm having poor network and it's like it's taking time for my orchestrator to actually talk back with my application. Hello, can anybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. All right. I think my network is getting bad. I think I'll have to try and swap my network. But pending that, I'll have to beg for time off. Mr. Doctor, sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm with you.
Yes,
I'm with you.
I think I'm having poor network on this line. I want to subscribe for another line, and I'll take a little while coming back. Lady Testimony, can you pick up from here? It's like Testimony is not with us now. She has been in class for over 8 hours, and so I wouldn't want to over-exhaust her. Hello. So, Mr. Doctor, sir, I don't know if I could call it time off here.
Okay, I would like the class to say something like
okay.
Yes, I know you can bend for us. Okay. Yes, I would like the class to say something because the aspect of queues, triggers, um, let's say queues. Okay, you've talked about assets. Okay, we are yet to talk about queues and triggers. Okay, those aspects. Except if we're going to use exam practice to handle that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it's been a
Can I
long
just,
day. We should release it. Yeah. Someone wants to say something.
yeah, I was just saying, can I just throw an overview around? I may not be able to demo it because of my network right now. If that is fine, let's just talk little around it. I don't know how it's going to take because I doubt the network right now.
Okay.
So the class
all right.
can decide. I think I am all theirs. Whatever they say now, I flow in the direction.
Okay. So let the class talk. Lucky is the honorable comrade. Theophilos, John Aware. Yeah. Yes, I don't want to take decision. I want you to talk. You have heard him. Babalola Sylvester, are you still there?
So, thank you very much,
Yes, sir.
Sir
Yes,
Julius.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
hello.
Thank you
So
very much. I appreciate it.
on behalf of myself and the entire class, we say a very big thank you. It's been very impactful tonight. Like, so we are really grateful for that. I don't know if you have plans to maybe come around during maybe sometime next week during our prepping session for the exam. So maybe we
I think the power still rests in Mauga, Mr. Dr. Ebenezer. He has the power to pull me at any time.
Now, you are giving the class a very serious pressure, but you know that we have an ultimate Oga. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Don't worry. We'll talk about that class. I think we should call it a day at this point since we've gone this far, and then I'm sure a lot has been imputed. Sincerely speaking, I salute these guys. Without missing words, I salute them seriously because I know that these guys are deep. Or let me say, these guys, they are deeper. All right. Okay. So, and each time I have opportunity to talk about them, it's just like I don't hide it. So that it's not when someone is good, you say it's good. That's just it. Okay. So thank you so much, testimony. I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you. Julius, thank you so much for your dedication. It has always been so much dedicated to this, All right, thank you so much. So, class, thank you too. All right, so we'll meet
Thank you,
next
sir.
week. I got
Sir.
space
Thank
Monday.
you. Testimony.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
go
you,
and
sir.
testify.
An error.
Yeah,
We'll go and
say what?
testify. Thank you.
Yes,
Testimony.
sir. I've been battling with an error on my side. I've been unable to publish my workflow.
You have been unable to publish it.
Yes, sir. It keeps saying the project has validation errors, cannot be published. But the workflow is actually running fine, so I don't even understand.
Okay.
Did you check through your assistant and find out that you are connected to the orchestrator?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
You are connected to the orchestrator.
Yes, sir. That green circle is actually there, and I've also checked from our assistant.
Okay. I would have said you should share your screen. Okay, can you share your screen for a while?
Okay, let me
So why Joe is attempting to share his screen? I think Mother Lawa is raising his
Yes.
hands.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I want to ask the previous training sections are yet to be uploaded. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
What
can.
did the previous
Can hear
one?
you. Class.
The previous classes we took, the trainings.
Okay. Trainings.
Yeah,
How many?
they are yet to be
Yeah.
uploaded on
Is it on YouTube or on
YouTube.
the class
Yes,
on
on
the
YouTube.
website?
On YouTube. On
Okay,
YouTube,
okay,
sir.
okay. We'll get back about on that. Yeah. Okay, it's well noted. Did you hear me? Ademola Lawal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Thank
Omotayo.
you.
We are waiting for Joe to share his screen and using that same time to take in questions. May I also say that there are some materials that have been uploaded, links uploaded to the LMS, so you can check. That's exam practice items. We have video, we have files, PDF files for your view. Okay, so you can add those ones to the ones you have already. Omotayo Kende.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. This thing is concerning the mail we got yesterday, the good news mail about the discount for the exams. So
Okay.
I don't know, but I need clarifications concerning some things about scheduling the exams and the whole process entirely, sir. So I don't know if
Okay.
there is any provision for that. Maybe someone is coming to enlighten us more, or we can just raise
Yeah.
our questions there.
Okay. Yeah, I will say a few things, and then, of course, not total. The process is ongoing. Maybe you did not, you were not in when I said it to the class. Okay, we're still going to give you a full overview of what you are going to do. But the good news is that you're still going to have the discount, the 50% discount on your exam voucher. The guideline, though it has not been with the CEO. I'm not sure he has asked me to tell you this, but I think that's what is going to happen. The guidelines to use securing what we call student ID. Please, let's mute our mic. Let's mute, please. It's really disturbing me. Akpata Peter, please, just once you have raised your question, just mute your mic. Please. Okay. All right. Okay, so this now one of the things you need to securing that it's student ID. Okay, and how you can get your student ID, the guidelines have been they have been uploaded to the website. I mean, pardon. So you can check it up. But there are other things that we're still going to do everything by next week, and then we'll kickstart that's by Monday. Okay, so just still keep abreast of all this, and then you still get your 50% discounts. And we need to also ensure that those that are for us are really for us. I mean, for Grandinda, they are the ones, partaking of this opportunity and not outsiders, because we are in partnership with UiPath, and we have to secure our integrity to a very large extent. So we are putting measures in place with respect to that. Okay. So still expect more from that. Somebody is going to, perhaps the CEO himself or the enrollment manager is going to address that. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Joe, yes. Okay, Joe is here.
Okay, thank you. First, you have a complex project. We won't be able to take time to look at this. Can you disable the project and just put only a message box and populate? Let's start from there. Hello. So scroll up. No, you have clicked the item already. Okay, click on your main. Look to the left-hand side. Okay, a hand. So on the I'm seeing you using SS scope activity. Okay, good. So you can minimize these and bring only the message box in. No,
this is not.
no.
Yeah, it's a variable, but it's not well specified.
Why not just type message? Just type inside a quote any message. We want it as light as possible. We want to find out whether it's your publishing that is causing the problem. Okay. So can you publish this?
The project has validation errors and cannot be published. Let's create unknown type. Sequence. The problem is with the sequence file. Now, okay, I think this problem is with the sequence file. That's where the code is. You have the main, you have the machine, you have the if, and
let me see the folder is even publishing it to. Let's go and see that folder on your orchestrator. No, open your studio.
You mean my assistant, sir?
Okay, open your assistant. Let me see. But I mean your studio.
It's open, sir.
Okay, that means my screen is lagging. My screen is lagging. I can't see anything. Okay.
now towards your project folder, towards the left, I think I'm seeing sequence. There is a red indicator. Yeah, it's that very file.
Okay, yes, I think that's okay. Wait, can you just create a new project? I think that's where it's showing the error.
Yes.
See, you have actually saved this. Go to home, up. Just create a new project. Let's see. Home. Okay.
Now it's already throwing validation error even when you have not even established anything. Now, if you can you expand this project panel? I think the entire project panel. Now, right click on system.activity. That dependency, under it we have Excel main activities, mail activities, Excel. Let's right click on system activities.
Yeah, it's not even closed. You have not closed the statement you have put in your message box.
Okay, yeah, even please publish it. Okay, you need to beg it actually. Yeah, I click on that. Manage. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with it. Okay, and that is UI automation activities. Oh, you can close it. You can close this. Okay, I think the error is gone. Okay. Can you try it again?
So it means the error is with that your project, not the publishing.
Yeah, it's not with publishing.
So you just kindly look at your project. Your project is a bit complex. It will take time for us to look at it. That's why I just said I wanted a simple one. So look at your project. You'll find that there are some things you need to fix.
So is it possible for
go
it to run and still?
Yes. One of the possibilities is that you may be using an asset in the orchestrator in your project that is not running there. And here, it can run in your project if the asset is not really effective in your project. So when you need the orchestrator to publish it and you can't find out those dependencies, it will throw you this kind of error. But just look your code very well. If this can go, that your complex code can also go if they are okay.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. You can go back to that project. I'm sure it will run now.
All right. Thank you very much. I think in the absence of there's no other question.
No, even in the presence of question.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to have my leave.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Have a lovely and a fruitful exam.
Bye.
Yes.
Man, thank you.
We hope to see you again.
All right. I hope to join you soon.
Okay, testimony. Thank you if you are there. The error should be gone by now.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, testimony. Thank you. So, okay, the class is also saying goodbye to you. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Madam Testimony, I thought you had gone. No.
Sir?
Still the same issue.
We are so grateful for your input tonight, ma. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma. We have a lot of testimony. Go and testify. Oh.
We want to be like you when we grow up.
Anyway, you don't go
Yeah, you are
finish.
doing great things.
Omo, I dey envy those people, I beg.
Like seriously,
We'll get there too someday, Sha. I pray.
That work.
Yeah, so we'll get there.
Okay, good night, everybody. My battery is low. I have to log out now.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.